7:50 here on the Big 550 KTRS. Scott Air Force Base is back in the news. Mark Kern is with us. St. Clair Chairman Mark Kern joins us via Skype. Good morning, Mark Kern.
Good morning, McGraw. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for checking in, and thanks for delving into the world of Skype with us on the radio, as well as our joint partnership with STLtoday.com. People can watch this interview as well. Scott Air Force Base has a big announcement. Tell us what's going on with the announcement.
Well, it's not really Scott Air Force Base.
Well, I guess St. Clair County.
Well, and it's the Leadership Council of Southwestern Illinois has formed an effort to join together with a consultant to try to help us preserve Scott Air Force Base should there be a round of BRAC in 2017.
And so you're announcing what this morning?
Well, so BRAC is the base realignment and closure process that the United States government goes through. We believe that there likely will be one, or possibly will be one, in 2017. So the Leadership Council has agreed to raise money, a significant amount of money, over $2 million, to try to help us in our effort to keep Scott here. And they have hired a consultant that includes former Congressman Jerry Costello, as well as former four-star general and gentleman we all know who was stationed at Scott, General McNabb, will also be part of the team.
Jerry Costello knows a thing or two about how Washington works and has been a great friend of Scott Air Force Base and the region for many years. So that's a nice hire there.
It is. We think that his expertise is going to be invaluable in this process. We've got to make sure that we're prepared should there be a round of BRAC to keep Scott open.
The last round was what, early 2000s? Is that right?
Yeah, I think 2005 was when the last round was announced. It's a process that takes a couple years to go through. So we're ramping up at just the right time now to make sure that we make the best case.
Over the last number of years, Scott Air Force Base has done quite a bit, and many stories talk about how that has been a command center vital for the war on terror. What is going on over at Scott Air Force Base these days?
Well, there's plenty going on over at Scott, and I think certainly for our national security, it is invaluable. For us, it's the fourth largest employer in our entire St. Louis region. 13,000 plus people work there every day, $3 billion worth of local impact. So take a look at the BRAC process and make sure that we make the best case.
Yeah. Scott Air Force Base is right next to MidAmerica Airport. MidAmerica Airport has been maligned and has been a laughingstock, but is it not true that MidAmerica Airport has helped Scott Air Force Base stay open?
It absolutely is true. In 1995, which was a prior round of BRAC, we scored very poorly. As a matter of fact, we were at the bottom of the list as to bases base scores. Luckily for us, Senator Alan Dixon, former Illinois senator, was head of the BRAC Commission at that time, and so we didn't have our base closed in 95. But what we knew was we had a runway that was too short. We had a control tower that swayed. We had some of the worst base housing that existed in the entire country. MidAmerica Airport corrected all of those things. So the bills that you see that were used to pay for MidAmerica Airport built a 10,000-foot runway, which brought the refueling wing from Chicago. So we now had a flying mission, build a new tower, control tower, build a brand new school for Scott Air Force Base kids, and also built a lot of St. Clair County built a lot of base housing, which has then been turned over to the Air Force.
Yeah, Boeing has also made some announcements over the last number of years that they're moving some jobs over to Southern Illinois as well as Scott Air Force Base, correct?
Yeah, MidAmerica Airport, we're lucky, is the home to Boeing's first manufacturing plant in Illinois. We've got about 100 jobs over there right now, and we certainly look forward to a long relationship with Boeing.
So is this a preemptive strike, more or less?
It is. It's a preemptive strike in that we are preparing ourselves for a round of BRAC. We also are aware that in today's economic environment, sequestration means that you could lose parts of a base if you're not aware of so we don't have a death by 1,000 cuts. In addition, during rounds of BRAC, we've actually, in 2005, we grew by about 1,000 jobs. We got an extra or another command that came to Scott. We know that that may be available in this next round of BRAC. So not only are we preparing ourselves to fend off closure, but we also are preparing ourselves to find units that may be compatible with Scott and bring them here.
St. Clair County Chairman Mark Kern joining us via Skype, talking about Scott Air Force Base in the future. So you're thinking, just to sort of sum up, you think BRAC, which is the Base Realignment Commission, I think is what it stands for, which is a private, independent, sort of secret meetings that they have so politics don't get in the way. You're thinking that might come around in the next few years, and hiring Jerry Costello, former congressman, is a step in the right direction to sort of figure out what Scott needs to keep it going and into the future.
Yes, and having General McNabb, a former four-star who was stationed at Scott, as part of the team is an extremely important part of that process.
Yeah, all right, good news. All right, so St. Clair County Chairman Mark Kern. Mark, thanks for joining the 21st Century via Skype. Good luck, and fill us in down the road if we need to know anything else.
I will. Thanks, McGraw. Appreciate it.
You got it. 7:56 here on the Big 550 KT.